Greetings and salutations, people. Well, you know, we all hear the old saying there, you can't control the weather. Is that right? Is that what you think? Well, we have governments out there talk about it. The first one we're going to look at is cloud seeding. They talk about it on the news. Tasmania, government talks about it. They apologise, they caused a big flood. We're going to look at that. Also China, during the Olympics, wanted to make sure there was good weather, so they made it rain beforehand. We're going to have a look at that. Secondly, we have etheric forces, just using the ether, tools that use no other power but to spin them. Etheric forces have been studied from 1939, 1940, right through 1980s, 1990s. A person by the name of Trevor James Constable doing weather experiments with the United States government. It's a very interesting video. And if you watch it to the end, there's a time lapse. Rain in 18 minutes. So, thirdly, we're going to look at frequencies, where they are using towers to project frequencies to control where the patterns go. Drag them off land, push them on land, hold them in certain areas to cause flooding. Take these with a grain of salt as you wish. But remember, what we're about to look at is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I invite you to research. Research it. It's the only way you're going to find out. So, without prolonging any longer, here we go.
For those that don't think weather modification is a science, or hasn't been written about, or hasn't been thought about, check out the books. This is not all the books in regards to weather modification. This is just a few.
But have we come to the point where we can control the weather? Let's talk about cloud seeding.
Residents in southern Tasmania are demanding to know why cloud seeding was conducted over the Derwent River catchment the day before the worst floods in 40 years. Cloud seeding is a technique used to increase rain. Hydro Tasmania has confirmed it flew a cloud seeding flight despite the weather warnings.
When we were kids and we'd look up and see a plane, you know, there was a contrail behind it, but then again, within 2 or 3 minutes, that thing just starts disappearing behind the plane. And it's almost as the plane is going, it's like the contrail is going with it.
So what's the difference between a chemtrail and a standard contrail? Well, a contrail dissipates pretty quickly after the jet has passed overhead. On the other hand, there is a chemtrail, which does not dissipate, but it continues to spread out and spread out and spread out.
If anybody ever asks you the difference between a chemtrail and a contrail, there it is. You see that line? And you see his line?
So cloud seeding can produce what we want more or less of, more snow, more rain, or smaller hail pellets.
This is done by introducing a seeding agent through pyrotechnic flares attached to an aircraft. But does it work? In 2008, Beijing claimed that they made it rain early with cloud seeding to ensure blue skies with the Olympic opening ceremony. According to the World Meteorological Organization, 52 countries have a weather modification program, and many of them continue to boost funding for such operations.
Try to make it rain. We have these flares that contain a mixture of salts, and this is called cloud seeding. I'm going to press the fire button, but first we got to set it up. Look, so over here, I'm going to switch it over to R1 like that, and I'm going to put this down to 3, like that, and I'm going to press fire. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Fire. 6. Fire.
Is there something for the stupid? Definition of stupid, knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing the lies.
Delta 1692, Alpha Cherokee, safe speed.
79.
Delta 1692, can you maintain Mach 81 for space?
We can do 81, 1692.
Delta 1692, thanks. Maintain Mach 81 or greater for space.
1692.
American 33, turn 45 degrees right for space.
45 degrees right, American 33. Albuquerque, Stockton 204, Charlie Whiskey 390.
Well, there you go. If you didn't think cloud seeding was a thing, or these contrails and chemtrails and it's just condensation in the sky. Well, I think they showed condensation doesn't hang around for hours and hours. Heading into the second section, etheric forces is a bit of a longer video. It's something that I felt that I couldn't really cut down to make it any shorter, because you really need to see from go to woe. I think some of the information in there may even boggle your mind or be rather surprising, especially when he starts talking about the SS Maui and travelling between Hawaii and San Francisco. So here we go.
This is the Black Widow, a basic projector of etheric force consisting of a PVC tube with associated lined cone. Here is another version of it. The cone and the tube are geometrically related to each other. All of these devices are basically projectors of etheric force. Even a simple cone, like this, is a projector of etheric force. These bazookas do not use cones, but employ layering. There is no electromagnetic radiation, no chemicals, no external energy source. This is the termite. We call it that because as the ship moves and this rotates, it literally bores into the ether, setting up etheric vortices. You're going to see these. Termites come in different sizes. This is a termite 135. Also a vortex generator. This is a small one, about the size of a coffee cup, the 4x4. This is the Box Apache, a basic and simple generator of vertical etheric vortices. Such an arrangement stirs vertical ether currents into vortices, and these translate into rain. This is the brainchild of Irwin Trent, my oldest and closest associate. We call it the skimmer. It's simpler than the simplest transistor radio, but it will make rain in high pressure. You'll see this. Here are a couple of skimmers in a spider-type arrangement. This also raises Hob in the atmosphere. No chemicals, no electricity, ever. Some of them are pretty small, as you can see from my hand. We call this one the Matterhorn. There's a couple of very precisely tuned chambers there, but once again, no chemicals and no electricity, just the power required to rotate this thing. This is a Mark 10 spider. It is an effective generator of etheric vortices, and it is perfectly capable of surrounding a moving ship with rain even when the barometer is high. There are many variants of the spider. Here is a Mark II spider, working, believe it or not, 6 decks down inside the Maui's hull and below the waterline. If you happen to be a physics professor, this is going to boggle your mind. Here is a similar spider working on the flying bridge in the horizontal mode. With these devices, the idea is to cater to the ether's tendency to move in the form of vortices. There are dozens of variants for generating these vortices, and they are all descended from the original devices, the projectors, that we're going to show you first.
In the earlier teachings of Dr. Rudolf Steiner, this energy form is called the chemical ether. Dr. Reich demonstrated the existence of this orgone energy, or primary energy, or chemical ether, visually with the orgonoscope, an instrument that he designed, thermically with calibrated thermometers, with the electroscope, and with the Geiger-Müller counter. That was all done in his lifetime. In more recent years, Dr. Walter Stark, a Swiss physicist, developed a special device, a digital instrument called the orgonotester, that provides a continuous digital readout of the activity of this free primary energy.
When the responding ether locks itself into a pattern that is due to the equipment upon the traveling ship, that pattern of gross meteorological effects occurs regardless of the existing surface weather. The best aid we have in establishing that this happens is, of course, radar. Let's take a look at an example of this kind of thing. This is a photograph of the collision avoidance system of the SS Maui, taken on the 30th of April, '89. Now, the collision avoidance system gets its information from the Maui's radar. So everything you see here has been derived from the Maui's 3-centimeter radar. This red dot here, which I have stuck on the photograph, that represents the Maui. That's her at the center of the screen, that red chip. This dotted line here is her course line from Honolulu to San Francisco. This circle represents the ocean area around the Maui with a radius of 24 miles. So this circle actually has a diameter of 48 miles. An important clue here to what is going on is this sea clutter out in this direction from the Maui. That is caused by the vessel's headwind coming in on this bearing. Any experienced deck officer in the merchant marine, any experienced naval officer will tell you that this sea clutter gives you a clue to the existence of about a 20-knot wind coming in this direction. So the Maui actually has a good stiff breeze going this way, and she is herself going this way at 20 knots or better. Look at this rain formation here extending up here like this at right angles to our course. A considerable amount of moisture. Millions and millions of tons of water are coming down out of this as we go. But we did not leave this barrier behind. We towed this barrier with us across the Pacific for at least 80 miles that evening before it began to dissipate after midnight, when there is a definite change in the etheric forces going on. This is typical of the practical, objective guidance given to our work at sea through the modern miracle of radar. Radar does not lie. These official ship's thermometers show us that we have a 1 degree differential between the wet and dry bulb readings, and that therefore the local atmosphere is not saturated. And over on the barometer, 1021 millibars. And over here, to the south and the southwest, high pressure or no high pressure, you have rain and plenty of it. I wonder how it came about. Here is the culprit, set squarely against the background of his effects. Rotating at approximately 2 RPM and aided by a similar termite on the other side of the ship. We're in the perpendicular mode. We are eastbound. We've just come out of Honolulu. There's a lot of moisture in the air, and our geometric guns are in the perpendicular mode. We get a very rapid brew-up. Massive and vivid. The whole scene is transformed right before our eyes. And there you have it. All the way up to rain in that shorter length of time. Engineering. You saw it all happen right from zero. From this all the way to that.
Okay. Well, how's that, eh? How's that time lapse at the end? Just unreal. Unreal. Film from one boat. You see the other boat in the distance. You've got that rectangular piece over the boat in the distance. From blue skies to rain in 18 minutes. I was very sceptical of weather control myself until I saw that there video. Mate, they've been having a look at that, 1939, 1940, and you can see the video, how he's proved it certain different ways. It makes it a little hard to deny. I mean, when that was taken from 39 to 40, when they started, right through to 1989, 1991, you're already looking at 40 years of looking into it. And now being 2026, at the time of this recording, you're looking at 90 years. Nearly 90 years, nearly 100 years of investigation on weather control. It's a fair amount of time to well, know what they're doing. All right, here we are at the third and final section, frequencies and pulses using beams and that. And I think some of this might open your eyes as well. I hope so. Open mine. If you've got this far, please like and subscribe. Share. It helps out the algorithm. And gets a few people opening their eyes about what may or may not be going on. But without any further distraction, let's get into the third segment. Frequencies, beams and pulses.
This is what I talk about the towers. There are 55 on Australia, 55 of these things, and they're all so close together, all in places where you can block the weather coming in, as you can see here. Good old Sydney. Look at them all. So, as you can see here, there are beams. You'll just, you can see here, like the size of the circumference around each tower. This is one here. Look how far it goes. Now, if they're supposed to be doing satellite stuff or checking the weather, why are these things so close, and why do they only go out that far? As you can see, there's good rain coming in here, and before it even gets on land, it's gone. It's all gone. There's beams down here, and you can even see lines here, like a frequency, like a pulse, boom type thing. This is down in Tasmania. Look at this. Where do you see circles in cloud formations? And there's another one over here. So here we go again. Look at this. And as you can see down here, the beams again coming from the towers. There's another one. You actually see a straight beam coming straight from that one there to there, whether it's going one way or the other. But look how much radius it is and goes over the top of the other towers. Why do we need so many towers? There is another piece here, another beam coming out here, another beam coming out here. So you're starting to understand. Watch how this doesn't move for a little while, and it takes its time moving over to the east. Here we go. So these things are like sitting in places for 2 days when they should have continually moved east. Off we go. You watch the rain that comes in here too. It just sits there. So we have the rain that just left Sydney over here, and it's all splattering and disappearing. But back over here, that high now is going up here. Watch what it does, it just sits there. This actually pushes all the rain away. Go out a bit so we can see there. This high just goes up into here. Look at it bending and conforming, when these ones here are naturally just circles. Why are they bending? Look, now it's coming back into the bite and sitting there. Now watch this. Like, they're going to destroy this rain coming in. And push it south. Look at the high. Look at the pressure lines bending. And all that rain, and this lot here, pushed away. Pushed away. This one comes in sideways to push all that down. This is crazy, and people got to understand that having 55 towers on land does not make sense. If people haven't got their common sense, look how these move down here. These just sit there, and now it's like they just sit there. And it's pushing away the next lot of rain coming into Australia. As you see here, I'll use my pen. This is showing you how it's being drawn out from Australia. Watch. Boom. And then comes a boom. And it draws all there, up there, that's where that beam comes in and draws all the moisture from the coast. Boom. And there's the beam. And it draws all the moisture away from there. Boom. In comes the beam. Once again here. Boom. This is all I can do. I'll turn down the noise. I can't get the actual website to show me this anymore, so I'm glad I've saved it. And you can see the moisture being pulled off the coast. Here we go again. Boom. Crazy, crazy stuff. You can see it booming out there. It blows everything away. Everything. You see it all going back north. And it's all pushing down here, then all of a sudden, boom, off it goes, away from Australia. And all the moisture comes out. There was one stage where you could see a beam coming straight out after it exploded. Here we go again. Boom. Away it goes. Absolutely crazy. Watch this thing just pop out of the sky and burst. You can see frequency rings. Here we go.
Right guys, so this is a warning. Mullumbimby's about to go under. Lismore's probably already under, and I'll show you why. I'll tell you why. It's very simple. You have up here, you have something off the coast here. It's minus 60 degrees, okay? They're using something to lower the temperature to push this cold down. Then they're releasing particles here, and that's pushing down into northern New South Wales. And then they have the radar Doppler systems from Moree, okay, there's a Grafton one as well, which is pushing up. That's why we have these straight lines across here, straight lines, Moree, straight line, pushing the system, holding it in there, creating the cold, okay? This is the cold front. It's coming down here being intensified, iron oxide or whatever they're using. They're using something different. I've never seen this before, guys. I've been looking at the skies for 10 years. Look at my YouTube, 10 years I've been doing geoengineering. This is new. This is not the planes spraying and geoengineering. This is something else. It's possibly Navy ships off the coast. Okay, and they're releasing something. And it's coming down here. Now this has been here for 4 to 5 hours. I've been watching it for the last 4 to 5 hours. Okay, I'm watching this stay here, that stay here. It's the perfect storm. Okay, and we're actually running out of internet because there's so much rain. And you can see the frequencies coming up here. The frequencies here, look, zip, 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 zip. There it is. The frequencies over here. This whole section could be getting hit with HAARP. We don't know. It could be from Alaska, could be hitting us from here. Okay, then we have the smaller systems. How has a storm got straight edges? And it's even spewing out the top here. It's being squashed here from Moree. This is where the Moree system is, and I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you a photo of not long ago. There we go, Moree. That's the system. Okay, blasting in, pushing out the top. It's coming down from here. This is heavy fucking rain all the way through here. And it's being intensified up here, coming down, and they're holding it in this area to fuck up the northern New South Wales because this is the most woke area in Australia, and they're doing it on purpose. Now, I'll show you. This is infrared. Okay, I have a program, infrared. This is the border, okay? They're releasing something here. That is freezing fucking cold. That is freezing cold, that is cold, that is cold. Minus 60. Look at the temperature. Minus 20, 30, 40, minus 60. Minus 60 degrees, it's there, and then minus 50 here. It's bringing the cold front down. And they're using a natural storm to bring it down, push it in, hold the bottom, push it in, hold it there. Absolute weather modification manipulation. Now I'll show you the fucking map again. There we go. Oh, that's very natural, Nate. Yes, it's a new cloud called straight line cloud, and we're going to make an announcement on the news. It's part of a new thing called a rain bomb. Yeah, it's a rain bomb, and it's coming for you. Okay, it's infrared. My mate has a system of infrared showing it. Look at it. Minus fucking 60 degrees. Why? 1, 2, 3, and 4 off the coast. that could be on the coast. It's right on the edge. Okay, now we're back to the live map. Here we go. Look at the frequencies. You don't see them on the photos. It's hard to see because it's being pumped. Here, hitting it, still straight. Why do we still have a fucking straight storm for? Okay, it's blasting out the top. It's being hit down, it's blasting out. Look at it. That's the -60s up here, right? Doesn't look very natural, does it? What's going on there? Why is it raining out there in the middle of the ocean? In this one spot, just above the coast, so I can come down here and be intensified, just off the coast of Maroochydore. Okay, they've got systems in Brisbane. It's being hit, it's being intensified all through here, and it's being held in like a nice tight container for where? Grafton, Yamba, Ballina, Byron, Tweed, Lismore, Murwillumbah. Look at the frequencies coming here. Look at them coming in. Look at it. Look at it. Still a straight line there. Since when do you have straight lines in storms? You don't. Okay, it's intensified. It's artificial. I've been watching these guys for 10 years, guys. 10 years I've been watching. Check that out again. Look at it. Look at that. Straight from the Moree facility. Check it out. You cannot make this shit up. The evidence is there and you cannot hide it.
Well, we've come to the end of the video. I hope there was a few things in there that you found fascinating and interesting. Because I certainly did when I first came across these things. Do apologise for some of the language in some of the videos. We're all adults here. This is Scruff saying, catch you on the next one.